Hello, my lovelies. How's it going? If you can tell by my voice, I've been sick. Either that or the dumpster fire that is my face right now. My eyes are really squinty. My nose is extremely dry and red. So, yeah. I am feeling better today, though. The last 2 days completely sucked. And to be honest, it's really hard to be pregnant and have a stuffy nose, because when you're a certain amount of pregnant, it's already hard to breathe doing certain tasks because, you know, everything's just pressing up on the diaphragm. And then when you have a stuffy nose, you almost want the iron lung. Today's video is going to be my 2026 challenges. Yes, I said challenges. One, I have a challenge for the Bible, and the other challenge I have for nonfiction, and then a challenge for fiction. First and foremost, the Bible challenge. Next year, I'm going to be doing something I've tried to do before, but I don't know why I stopped. Anyway, that is writing out the Bible by hand. And I've seen this done several times. I've seen people do it. They start with Genesis and write all the way through Revelations. I think you can even buy blank Bibles to do this, but I'm not going to buy a blank Bible. I'm just going to go kind of rednecky and do like a 5-subject college rule. And I'm going to be using my CSB study Bible. This is my women, it's like specifically geared towards women study Bible. Now, this isn't going to be the only Bible thing I'm going to be doing next year, because I do have my favorite Bible that I read that is downstairs right now, but it's my ESV study Bible, and I will be reading when I just want to read from the Bible. I'm going to be reading out of that, but yeah, I am definitely going to be writing out the Bible. And sometimes I find when you write out stuff, it sticks in your head a lot easier, so that's what I'm going to try and do and see if that helps. And as you guys can tell, this is one that I've studied before. I mean, you can see all the notes and stuff. Now, the nonfiction challenge. I want to try to read at least one nonfiction for every month. So that way, by the end of next year, I have had read 12 nonfiction books. Obviously for January, because Whitney, I will link her channel down below, has a Give Me Jesus challenge, and I am going to be participating in that. And in that, you're mostly going to be just reading the Bible. And for me, I'm going to be writing out the Bible as well as reading it. I also plan on focusing on Christian nonfiction during that time. Something probably around maybe studying the Bible. I do have... I was going to start this year, but I haven't. For I don't know what reason. But it's Women of the Word, which actually Whitney, I'm pretty sure, gifted me this. I think I'm going to have this for my first nonfiction of 2026. Now on to the fiction challenge. I think, going to be hardest challenge ever. So instead of doing what some people are going to be doing, which is going to be the 26 books of 2026, I can already see that trend still going on. Which, speaking of, I've only read like 2 books off of my 25 of 2025, so that right there is like a failure in itself, but oh well. Anyway, for fiction, I have this sketchbook that I'm going to be using. 2026 26 reading. I'm still working on my cover. I still gotta finish my dragon. I want like a little tubby dragon, but he keeps coming out too skinny. So I kind of stopped on him, and I'm waiting. So, like I was saying, I'm not going to do the 26th of 2026. Instead, I'm going to be doing 50 books for 2026. I said 50. That is my goal. That is because I am doing 50 books for 50 states. You can't really see that right there because that's just pencil right now. I'm going to work on that and all. But I printed out this map because there's no way I was going to hand draw this map, even though when I show you further, I've hand drawn all the states. There's no way I'm doing this, so I just printed it off, and I will make like different colors for genres like historical, and even if it's a historical romance, I might do like a 2-shade. But I'm going to do historical, romance, mystery, young adult, that kind of thing. And in order for a book to, what's that word I'm looking for? Qualify. In order for a book to qualify to be on here is if that book is at least 75% set in a state. It's got to be at least 75%. I thought about doing 50%, but then I was like, well, then that book could also classify as another state, and I really don't want to do that. I don't want a reason to double up, okay? I want to try and do 50 books, so, yeah. So it has to be at least 75% in that state to qualify for this challenge. And first and foremost, I think you all know Texas will be like the easiest one to pick off, because like there's so many books in Texas. But I do have a book set aside for Kansas, and my library has it, which is amazing. It's the series is called Sedgwick County Chronicles, maybe. It has Sedgwick County in it, which Sedgwick County is near me. I'm not going to tell you how close because I don't want to give away my location. But yeah. I'm going to show you guys each and every state because I drew out those states and they were very hard, except for Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, and Colorado. I think those were the easiest states. Oh, Kansas and Nebraska and Oklahoma and New Mexico and Arizona. Those were easy states. Funny enough, Montana, no. Those squigglies, yeah. You'll see, and I'll let you guys know that I did kind of start getting a little lazy towards the end of this because I'm one of those that once I get almost towards the end of the project, I just want it done and I kind of rush it. So those end states aren't going to look as nice as the beginning. So let's just get that out there. I'm going to be truthful on that. Alright, I'm kind of having to hold my camera stand because it won't recline all that much. But here we go. Here's Alabama. This is kind of how I want it to be. It's a book title, author, genre. I put genre over here because you know how some have the main genre and then you have like subgenres after that. Rating, when the book was published, the date I read it, and how many pages, and then I'll have all of this for review. And I'll also probably use the backside of this paper as well because I didn't do it two-sided. But I'm going to do probably that. Just stuff about the book or just maybe even stuff about the state. And maybe if there's like something that's really popular within the state. Like, let's say with Washington, if it's based in Seattle, like they have the Space Needle or something like that. Something that's unique to that state, and it's mentioned in the book, I might throw on there. But there's Alabama. Alaska, I did simplify because Alaska has a ton of squigglies. And I really did not want to do all those squigglies. But as you can see, I was kind of messing around with the top to see like different font and stuff. I can turn the page. And this is all in alphabetical order. So there's Arizona. And Arizona wasn't bad to draw, to be honest. Arkansas, I don't think I simplified that. Again, sorry if it's a little shaky. California, I hate California squigglies. But there's California, then we got Colorado. And I stopped doing like the book and stuff because I'll make it pretty when I read the book. And so I'll just worry about all of that when I read the book. There's Connecticut, Delaware. And can I just apologize if I screwed up on your state? I am very sorry. Please don't take it personally. These things are hard to hand draw for me. Also, with Florida, this little dill right here is not a mess up that I haven't erased. Those are the Florida Keys. I just didn't want to draw little tiny islands off of Florida. Georgia, which I think Georgia is another one that a lot of books are in, I think. I can't remember. Hawaii. I don't think I've ever read a book set in Hawaii that was not about Pearl Harbor. Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, which, no offense to anyone from Kentucky, your state sucks to draw. Louisiana, Maine, another one that sucked to draw. Maryland, you guys were semi-sucky, okay, just so you know. Massachusetts, sorry if I say that weird, I know I say that state weird, it's a thing. Michigan is, I'm sorry if you're from Michigan, but I hate you entirely. I'm just kidding, no I don't. I hate drawing your state entirely. I don't hate anyone from Michigan. Mississippi, Missouri, or as us Kansans call misery, because your guys' roads suck. You all need to fix your roads. Like literally when you're driving in Kansas City, you can tell which side of, like which state you're in due to the roads alone. Montana, again, like I said, those squigglies in Montana, I could not get those right. And they look super simple, but they weren't for some reason. Nebraska, Nevada, like I said, one of the easiest ones ever to draw. New Hampshire, I oversimplified because a lot of squigglies. New Jersey, which for some reason I feel like my New Jersey looks like Bart Simpson from the side. Does anyone else see it, or am I just nuts? I feel like he looks like Bart Simpson from the side. If I can grab the paper, New Mexico, like I said, another one that was super easy to draw. New York, another state I simplified because of the squigglies. By the way, yeah. Super sorry about that. North Carolina, another one I super simplified because of all the squigglies. North Dakota, Ohio. I had to simplify Ohio because y'all had a bunch of squigglies. Oklahoma, which I didn't realize how easy Oklahoma was to draw. Oregon, whose squigglies were, yeah. Pennsylvania, I gave up on the squigglies on the side just because, like, they were not working with me at all. And so I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to make it look as Pennsylvania-y as I can and just apologize to anyone who lives in Pennsylvania. Rhode Island. For a small state, your state sucks to draw. Especially these little islands that are off of it, which I didn't realize you guys had little islands off of that because I haven't studied a U.S. map since, you know, like the 4th grade. South Carolina. Wait, is that right? Yeah, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota. I know Tennessee is supposed to be more elongated, but y'all, I gave up on Tennessee. Tennessee was not working with me. And right now, Tennessee's just going to have to look fat. I'll probably fix it when I read something out of Tennessee to make it look better. But for right now, your state's going to just be a little bit fatter than what it actually is. Texas. Y'all squiggly up here? The squigglies up here? Y'all. Oh. Yeah. Anyway. Utah. Vermont. Virginia. See, I know, like, Tennessee is supposed to be, like, skinny, like that. Like, that in Kentucky. But for some reason, it just kept coming fat. And, yeah. Washington. West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Take me home. Sorry. Wisconsin. And then I ran out of pages, so Wyoming just gets back. Seriously, Wyoming and Colorado are literally just squares. And I absolutely loved it. Alright, y'all. Those are my 2026 challenges. Again, super sorry if I screwed up your state. I will try to make it pretty when I do read the book from it. Unless it's already kind of nice looking, then I'm just going to leave it. I think really the only state I have to fix is Tennessee, because Tennessee is just not looking like Tennessee. But anyway, yeah, I found I do not like freehanding states. And I was already halfway through freehanding when I thought, you know, I could have just easily gotten outlines of the states and printed them kind of like I did the map. And just stuck them on there, but oh well. I was already halfway through, and I was like, I'm not going to let that go to waste. I am going to be quite a little bit of ambitious next year, but with my job being a librarian, I will have certain hours that I will go in and work, and I'll be able to read. So, I know probably at home it might be a little bit different just because, you know, I'll have a baby and a toddler and I'll be learning all that life. And yeah, I might have to really invest in a lot of audiobooks, which, to be honest, nonfiction wise, I'm better at listening audio versus physically reading. Like, those are my challenges. The Bible challenge, the nonfiction, and the fiction challenges. I really don't expect anyone else to participate in my challenges because they're crazy, unless you want to do the nonfiction. The nonfiction one is the one that's like the easiest one to obtain. Really, just read one nonfiction book every month. But the 50 states, you know, if you want to join me on that, awesome. See you guys in the next one. Bye.